खवातीन और हज़रात, वापस आने के लिए शुक्रिया, करम, मेहरबानी। आज के जो हमारे मेहमान हैं उनसे आप मिलके काफ़ी खुश होने वाले हैं। अमरीकी मौसीकी हो या बॉलीवुड के मसालेदार तड़के वाले गीत, इन्होंने सब कुछ कॉन्कर कर लिया है। Of course, I'm talking about the one and only कनाडा की मौसीकी की शान Preet J, sometimes known as J as well. इसके बारे में उनसे हमें definitely सवाल करना है। But for now, Preet J, thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks for having me, man.
It is an absolute honor, man. So I've got to talk to you about, of course, the year that has just gone by. Exciting year, hey?
Yeah, absolutely.
Ifa Rocks, Yamma Pagli Divana not too long ago, Char Din Ki Chandni this year. How does it feel?
It feels like I just about gotten started, to be honest. It's funny because, you know, when I have family come over, you run into people that know your music and they go, oh my God, you've done all this, but really I haven't done nothing. And I'll say this again, I don't feel like I've done anything. I'm at maybe 15, 20, max 30% of where I want to be. So a lot more to come. It's a good start though.
It is.
By God's grace. Yeah.
It's a great start. I think it's a start which perhaps most North American Desi artists will really envy you for years to come. Let's talk about the 15-20% so far. Right. You know, let's do a quick recap of your journey. Where does your musical journey actually begin?
It began in the washroom at the age of 4, 5, maybe. You know, I used to mumble, and I still have recording tapes. My mother's actually recorded these tapes of me just chilling on the kitchen counter, singing all of those songs. Yeah. Anyway, so that's how it started. Family encouraged me, and you know, one thing led to the next. In '95, I participated on ZTV's Antakshari.
Okay.
That's actually when I met Sonu Nigam for the first time. So it's just kind of, you know, anyway. So his sister Nikki was my partner back then. That's how I got started. Ended up doing a lot more shows in India, Dubai, all over the place. And you know, I played with a rock band in Dubai for 3 years.
Sweet.
Got an understanding of that sound and got into more urban stuff, hip hop, R&B. But you know, Indian music was always there.
Right.
You know? And all the way from classical stuff to Qawwalis to Muhammad Rafi Saab and all of that stuff. So it was always around. And at some point, I think closer to my early 20s or maybe 18, 19, around that age is when I decided I want to do this full time and as a career. And here I am, you know, just continuing to learn, really. How
much training does one actually go through before sort of making that decision that this is what I want to do for a living?
To be honest, in today's world, you don't need any training, man. You don't need anything. It's there's no formula. Nobody can claim there's a formula to make it big or be successful or do this or that. Nothing at all.
Right.
But the way I think is a little old school. I would love to have a slow progress career path, because then I know I'll stay there for longer rather than just have an overnight success, because I'll come down just as fast. So really there's no formula for success, but there's certain things that obviously help you get there, and that's work hard. There's no replacement to that. Talent is God-given. You just work on it to brush it and, you know, make it better and keep learning. The day you tell yourself you know everything, you're done.
True.
And other than that, just keep at it. You got to enjoy it. And you know, the second you start doing music for girls or money solely or things like that, cars, then that's kind of a downward spiral. That's how I look at things. But again, you know, if you're doing it with your heart and you're hustling and you're sacrificing things and grinding, and God's on your side and your parents' blessings are on your side, you're not screwing people along the way, I don't think anything can stop you.
You mentioned the girls, the cars, and
that's a good thing, but that's a side effect of it.
Over the past year, how much of that has actually sort of come into your life?
You know, when I was younger, I used to enjoy it.
Okay.
Oh, she knows my song, man. She's hot. You know, she's in my video. She's beside me. But now, you kind of get beyond that, and it's purely work. You meet a ton of good-looking women in this industry, but you know, you just develop relationships with them, business, friendships, and things like that. I don't take it very seriously. It doesn't get to me anymore.
Now, Bollywood, sort of, you know, we often talk to sort of Desi artists that come onto the show about sort of Bollywood often being the ultimate goal for a lot of people, and it is, because it's the biggest South Asian industry, right? How did that happen for you? Where were you when actually sort of, you know, you got connected to that? Were you in India hustling for a while, or were you actually sort of resident in Toronto when that happened?
I was born in Bombay, so I know the insides and outs of that city, and I speak Marathi, so getting around and things like that, it's a lot easier for me. I have tons of family there. So I knew eventually I will end up there. It's the fact that I started from Antakshari, had you know, Gajendra Singh, who did Antakshari, ended up doing Saregama, and then Star Voice of India and a bunch of big shows. So he's still in the game. So I met a lot of people I knew, and my dad has been an advertising veteran for many years. So through family connects, I had the connects. I just wanted to work on my craft first. I don't want, you know, and not take advantage of links, but work on my craft. So in 2009, 2008, I decided that's it. Music is it. I worked for Dell full time at the time.
Right.
Quit my job, on one sunny morning driving to work. Literally finished my album in 3 months.
Okay.
September to December, my album was done. January 5th, I left for Bombay, just cold by myself,
Right.
with my master. January 12th, I got the deal with Times Music.
Nice.
May, the album was released, and from then on, I did a song for a movie called Mittal vs. Mittal called Khuda Hafiz. I did a title song remix of that. That was my first step in Bollywood. Then
Okay.
I ran into Manchur Marty B at a show in Dallas.
Right.
And I did a Muhammad Rafi dedication set,
Right.
which he really liked. So he said, you know what, I'm working on Yamla Pagla Diwana. Why don't you sing it? Send it to
Yeah.
me. Let's see if it works. So I recorded it, sent him the vocals. He loved it, and one thing led to the next. Next thing you know, it ended up as official remix of the song. Then Chandani happened,
Yeah.
which we recorded a million times in Hawaii and Peace in Dubai and a little line in Toronto. But it all came together with Sunidhi, which was great.
Absolutely.
So yeah, that's just the beginning, and I've got a bunch of other projects in the pipe now. So that's really how it started.
I find it really interesting. So the two big songs that you're known for, of course, in Bollywood,
Yeah.
you've got some great sort of singles as a recording artist yourself. But Chandni and Yamla Pagla Diwana are both takes on classics.
I know.
Does that increase the pressure when you're?
It does, because when Yamla happened, right off the, because Muhammad Rafi Saab is like
Yes.
the ultimate legend, and I look up to him. It's no question about that. That was the only Rafi song, because I did a bunch. I've done over 300-400 Bollywood cover song shows.
Wow.
Throughout my early 20s, which no one knows about, because these are just small events, sometimes large events, but they're more private, so you don't do any PR about it, no press, you don't have any Facebook sites or Twitter about it. So I did tons of those, but that was the one song I never attempted any of these shows.
Why?
Only because I knew it's a difficult song to sing.
Okay.
And I'll be honest about that. So you can't take a Muhammad Rafi song and ruin it. So I just
You never get
attempted.
forgiven for that.
Yeah, you
Yeah,
never get
absolutely.
forgiven.
Yeah.
You know. So especially by my parents, more than anybody else, my mom would just give me this look, and I don't
Right.
want that. So I never attempted it. But at this point, I felt like, you know what? Let me listen to a song 5 million times, and yeah. So when I recorded it,
Yeah.
there was a lot of pressure, and I actually feel happy about the fact that Sonu Nigam sang the title song for the film.
Yes.
Because he's been like an older brother to me, and there's no one in the game today
Absolutely.
alive that can sing that song better than what he's done for the film. So I really feel honored that he sang that, and I
Right.
just sang the remix version in my own little flavor.
And I think that both of them are beautiful little tracks.
Yeah.
I've got one really quick question before we
Sure.
go into the break. We hear from a lot of artists who've got the talent and the connections, and I think that you mentioned both of those in the conversation we've just had when trying to enter Bollywood. I think Shweta is a great example of
Right.
that. She's been on that periphery. She's connected with the likes of Salim Sulaiman, Shankar Mahadevan. Great connections,
Right.
great talent, and at any moment that Bollywood debut can happen.
Right.
But that moment could, that it's kind of like limbo. It could be like a
could be
week.
now, it could be
or-
10 years later.
Exactly. At what point did it first sink into you that, holy, like I have made a Bollywood track? When was that big moment for you?
That's a great question. To be honest, it hasn't sunk in yet.
Okay.
Maybe because obviously Chandani happened and Yamla Pagla happened, but they were still not my songs.
Right.
They were remakes of old classics. Of course, they're in the movie, and Tushar Kapoor will BB me saying, "Hey, buddy, I'm in the theater watching this, and it sounds really great," which is awesome. Right?
Yes.
You get all this love from the actors and everybody, but I still feel like it would be the ultimate achievement for myself to have my song be featured
Yes.
in the movie. The day that happens and we have this conversation, I'll probably be up there. You'll be talking to me. I'll be flying.
And I'm looking forward to that moment.
Yeah.
And of course, ये पल काफी जल्दी आने वाला है for Preacher. Of course, the rate at which he's flying, you never know what's going to come out next in his career. और इसके बारे में बहुत सारी बातें हमें करनी है, तो भाई आप कहीं ना जाइएगा, क्योंकि हम एक छोटी सी ब्रेक लेते हैं.
Preacher, intro, RDB. You know what it is, man. We've been to clubs around the world, baby. But every time you see that one girl just moving it, you wanna pull up right beside her and break it like the way you put it down, baby. When you spin around, baby. When you wind up that booty, got me going insane. I wanna hold you right, baby. Wanna feel you tight, baby. Wanna beat it like a human machine. The way you put it down, baby. When you spin around, baby. When you wind up that booty, got me going insane. I wanna hold you right, baby. Wanna feel you tight, baby. Wanna beat it like a human machine. शीला से सेक्सी अपना तुझको बना लूं मैं। तुझ पे नजर मेरी मुझ पे नजर तेरी, देर है फिर किस बात की। आ मेरी बाहों में ले जाऊं तुझको मैं, हाथ दर्द क्योंकि the way you put it down baby, way you spin around baby, way you wind up that booty got me going insane. I wanna hold you right baby, wanna feel you tight baby, wanna beat it like a human machine. The way you put it down baby, way you spin around baby, way you wind up that booty got me going insane. I wanna hold you right baby, wanna feel you tight baby, wanna beat it like a human machine. Human machine. Oh, तेरी तो नागिन वर्गी वेखे हैराना मैं, तू है शीला तो सेक्सी अपना तेनू बनाना मैं। तेन तेन सर मेरी मेरे तेन सर तेरी,